So this example looks at exactly the same principle, now a little bit more extended, and we'll use some more advanced chromatic chords to go beyond simply the dominantization of a chord. Here we've got a chain of fifths, but they're all entirely diatonic: 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. And as before, we can intensify that motion by making the dominants, some of the dominants, into major chords by chromatic alteration. And that sounds perfectly good. And we could equally make them into dominant seventh chords as we did in the first example. But I want to go a little bit further now. Let's take this chord, chord 3, which is an E major chord. Now we've made it major. It's the dominant of this A minor chord. One of the things that we might want to do to even further intensify the sense of motion is to turn this into a diminished seventh chord. Now what do we mean by diminished seventh? Diminished seventh can be either an interval or a chord. If it's an interval, it refers to simply this interval, the interval between the G sharp and the F. That is a diminished seventh interval. While a diminished seventh chord fills in the four notes of a seventh chord, it has a minor third, a diminished fifth, and a diminished seventh. In other words, it's a triad with a minor third, so we need the B, G sharp to B, a diminished fifth, so we need to add a D, put that in here, and the diminished seventh itself, which is the F. The diminished seventh chord, and this is one, occurs naturally, so to speak, on the raised seventh of a minor scale. If we imagine for a moment we're in A minor here, not C major, and this is the seventh that we automatically raise, G sharp, B, D, F is the seventh chord built on the seventh degree of the scale. That's what we mean when we talk about diminished seventh, but crucially, the way we use it is the same as previously, as to intensify that sense of dominant motion. The G sharp now moves up as a leading note. The F, which is the diminished seventh, falls by semitone again to the fifth of the next chord. The B, which is the third of the diminished seventh, rises by semitone. So you see all of this semitone motion increases the sense of pull towards the target chord, the A. So let's have a listen. So while it's a chromatic chord, it doesn't take us away from the basic tonality of C major in any way. For good measure, let's put one here as well. Diminished seventh, well, that would be F sharp to what? To E flat. The minor third isn't required, and that's the A, and then the diminished fifth part. How does it sound? Might have to fiddle with some of the voice leading. In the next chord, so there's the diminished seventh chord. I've just altered what comes after because the diminished seventh, again, as we found in this chord, it wants to fall by semitone, increase that chromatic pull. So the E flat drops to the D, which is part of the dominant chord. The F sharp rises to the G. The C falls by semitone to the B, and the A falls by tone to the G. You see, every part resolves by step, and that's one of the golden rules in resolving chromatic chords. Let's have a listen. The last thing to do is just to fix the notation here, because I've changed these chords now. So you see I've changed these chords to indicate that they're diminished triads with a diminished seventh. That's what the small circle symbol means.